ever-present confidence exhibited by entrepreneur Alexander Omosu appears to be justified. He was named as one of the top 100 influential Black Britons. To recognize the achievement, he was invited to 10 Downing Street, the home of Britain's Prime Minister, to celebrate Black History Month. We wanted to know how it felt to have his achievements recognized publicly. You're among the most influential Black entrepreneurs. How did that make you feel?
I don't deal too well with pats on the back, only because, for me, I have a group of friends that I kind of move around with, and those are like Duncan Bannatynes, Simon Woodruff. So I kind of look at those guys and I say, well, you haven't really done much. And until I kind of get to that league of people, that's when I could, you can pat me on the back all day and I'll take it.
When I first met Alexander, which must be 7-8 years ago now, he was a young guy with a lot of enthusiasm, and he just had some success with ringtones. And I think what's happened, I didn't get success till a lot later in my life, but I think it's the same thing. He got it at a young age. And when you get that taste, you always want to repeat it. And I think that's what happened to Alexander. And I've had a couple of run-ins with Alexander. We've done a couple of kind of business things that we've been involved in. One in particular, some watches, some imported watches, that I've had some run-ins. So I know what it's like to be on the sharp end of Alexander, and Alexander knows what it's like to be on the sharp. And we've had cross words, Alexander and me, so I know that side of him. What do I think about that? I tell you what I think about that. I think he is a sensitive man, actually. Interesting. You'd think that he had a hard as nails, do anything for it. Not true. A bit like me. Some entrepreneurs are tough as nails. Nothing affects them. What people think of Alexander affects them a lot. And actually, I would say it's made us closer, Alex and I, that we've been through some stuff together. Often when you go through a war with somebody, you end up, well, maybe you don't talk to them for 20 years, but if you do, which Alexander and I do, and I think we do like each other, it's made us closer.
His ambition is driving Omosu to expand the brand, but he accepts that his future is firmly rooted in his past.
The biggest challenge for me now is going back to Nigeria, because obviously, they know me as the kid who used to launch ringtones. So when the teenagers, the younger generation, find out that, the kid who created, R&B ringtones is a Nigerian, it's phenomenal. And now they've heard the guy who created the world's most expensive suit, who's in the Guinness Book of Records, is Nigerian. They're all going crazy. They can't wait for me to come. So there's an excitement and buzz that, yes, we as Nigerians are doing positive things, and we should be recognized for those positive things.
Omosu's ambitions are grand and his interests are varied. At a star-studded fundraising event, he stopped to explain how being recognized in Britain is not enough. He has his sights set on his native land, Nigeria.
I think for me, it's understanding your heritage and understanding, you've got to know, where you come from to understand where you're going. And, home is the best place, And I think it's important for people like me who've been successful in the UK to take something back over there and build our own country. Because one day we all have to go back, and I want to go back for sure. And there's nothing best than me taking my wealth and knowledge back to Africa and building my own country.
Omosu's idea is to change perceptions by bringing luxury to a continent more often associated with poverty.
My focus now is actually more Africa than before. I've realised actually there's big opportunities there. And to be honest with you, there's no luxury brands there, so to be the first sort of luxury brand owner across West Africa would be fantastic. What I'm going to propose to them is that one of your own is going to create his own luxury brand, and we're all going to support our own, and we're going to buy our own, and it's going to be the first luxury brand owned by a black person, and we need to support it, and that's what I'm going to do. And for me, Africa is huge. We contribute a lot of money, especially the rich, to other parts of the world, so we need to start putting some back into Africa.
Are you more excited about the response that you get in Nigeria or the response that you get anywhere else?
I'm probably more excited about the response I get in Nigeria, because I'm trying to fit into Nigeria, I want to become that kind of messiah that's coming in, show them that this is the world of business, that we're going to take over, and we're going to show how we should be expanding our business, not just about Africa. We need to be a global recognized brand. There's nothing stopping us. I mean, there's loads of brands that have done it. IKEA is a fantastic example of that, who's taken over, in terms of the brand. And for me, I want there to be more Africans who are doing what we're doing, which is challenging this whole, status of launching international businesses, we need to be recognized across all the boards. I think Nigerians are pretty much entrepreneurial spirit anyway, you know. I remember doing an interview and I was saying, look, you know, in Nigeria, there's no job center, there's no, you know, you're hungry, you better be entrepreneurial and work. You know, so that's Nigeria, that's what they do. And I think there's probably a little bit of element in that in me where, you want to eat, you want to survive, you got to think of some idea to make you money, and there's no two ways about it. There's no handouts.
Having progressed from the streets of North London to designer suits and luxury products, Amosu understands the concept of not getting handouts. As a self-made man, he admits that it's his own fears that drive him forward. I've read somewhere that money is something that doesn't drive you. What does drive you?
I'm scared to be broke. I don't want to be back to where I am before. So at the moment, you know, when I think in my mind, you know, it's not about, I need to do this for money. I know that whatever idea I do is going to bring money. So the first result is having a great idea.
Where do you get your confidence from?
I think you've got to start building walls around you from like I said, from a very early age. You know, when you do something and it hasn't been very successful, you kind of understand the process, you know. And that for me, you know, has been one of the important things. At the age of 24, I walked into a boardroom. You know, there was 12 people in there, you know, with my ringtones out there. There was no black person in the boardroom. I was the only young person who was in there. And I had to convince 12 people that my idea was the best idea in the world and for them to build a system that would allow me to sell my ringtones globally. So you can imagine, to be able to do that, you've got to have some confidence, because at the end of it, you know, the fee to create that system was £25,000. So, you know, it's that you have to have confidence. I think if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So you've got to have understanding and believe. And then there's a difference between arrogance and confidence. I'm just confident. I'm not arrogant. I know where I came from.
Do you feel you have something to prove?
I don't have anything to prove to the world, but I have something to prove to myself, and that's about it. Because, you know, for me, like I said, I'm not successful yet, and I'm hungry for that success. So, you know, this I think would allow me to feel that I've made the success of myself.
Will it ever be enough, though?
I really don't know.
My thoughts are that probably won't be, because it seems as though it's in your DNA.
I have a plan for that. I'm working already on a charity which helps teenagers between the ages of 16 to 27. And the idea is that it doesn't matter whether you have a business plan or not. It's actually based more on the principle of the idea and whether the idea is a success or not. So my idea is that they will come to me and approach me and say, right, okay, we've got this idea. I'll give it to a couple of my friends to say, is it a good idea or not as well? And if it is, then I would support them for a whole year. So by that, I mean, I invest in their business, give them office space, give them an accountant, give them a marketing person, a PR, so that, you know, I'm actually helping them and holding their hands to a success rate. So I'm thinking of that as like, okay, if I really kind of do this really well, and, you know, I end up thinking what challenges are out there, what can I do, then this can be like my little project that I work on, where I'm helping people kind of achieve their own dreams, but getting some self-satisfaction and making them successful at the same time.